Yeah, so here we go again. It's Thursday night. I feel as though I haven't done enough today, and yet measurably I seem to have done okay. Um, Spent the morning, so till literal noon, 12, that is not the highest point of the sun. So I guess it is a figurative use, to be fair. I was at my former place of internship, and I was hit by a hard realization, which is, though I think they cannot afford to not employ me once I'm done studying, they might very well also not be able to afford to employ me. Because from what I get, pay there is not the greatest. Then again, I don't know, I haven't gotten an offer. So I'll figure all that out when I do. Um, because I like the place and I'm already trained into the place, they got first pickings and they will get the choice to match any other offers I get. But I'm not going to be paying money to be there. So if someone else give a lot better offer and they don't match it, too bad for them and for me, I guess. But hell, money make the world go round, you know. And it don't matter if you like a place, if you're being robbed while being there. I'm assuming someone else would pay me a good market rate. I'm hoping they would too. Then afternoon, so about 12ish, 1ish p.m, I went to my aspired to supervisor, which I guess now they are my thesis supervisor. Got the papers they filled out, scanned them, sent an email to the examination office and my prof and some others, and handed them in person at examination office. So I guess I've now applied for admission to a bachelor's thesis. Funny how that works, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. After that, I went and got the car cleaned. I am really happy with how it looked. I also inserted the indicator repeaters I got new for £10 a piece, and it looked like $1,000,000. So that's nice, you know. Looked like 10 to the 6 ducks. That's really rather pleasant, to be fair. Was hella work. I spent a solid hour just hand cleaning, vacuuming out, and so on. The rest was done by the machine for $14, which isn't all that bad, I guess. Especially this is the car with which you get the most value out of washing street like that. Full automatic washing machine, car wash. There we go, car wash. That's the right term. Because this car is the widest, the tallest you are allowed in, and of cars that are this wide and this tall, this is one of the longest there is. So I get the best value out of the $14 that are physically possible, I guess. Which always is somewhat satisfying, and $14 is only with a coupon if you install their app. Then again, the only thing you open their app for is using the coupon, so fair enough, I guess. I've had a total of 6 tobacco cigarettes today thus far. Yesterday I ended up having 8 overall in the day, and I guess I'm trying to stick with single digits for cigarettes. Though at this time I haven't set a limit on blunts. This is one I actually done with a pre-rolled cone. I'm just trying these because, you know, it's less effort, but they are also more expensive, so it's really just a trial for finding out what's out there. This is high CBD bubblegum grass, so, you know, might as well find out how it is. With the hemp, I'm not quite decided on if it's economically viable yet. I think the quality of life improvement is significant enough that I'll continue it even if it's not economically viable. Then again, I don't I don't pull gold out of somewhere or so. I don't shit gold. So if I do something else, I'll have to go, or I'll just have to work and get a job, which I'll soon enough be allowed to, I guess, have an income. That's magic. Because once you have an income, you can have more income. It's just at this time, any income I have is a direct 100% loss, which is stupid. They shouldn't de-incentivize students from actually making some money on the side, you know. I guess many aren't, because many don't bother declaring it. But if they say on paper you've got to declare it, they can't then make it that 95% of all people do not declare something, and the other 5 don't bother doing it, you know. I do still feel odd smoking blunts while driving and in the car. Then again, I would not do so if my blood were not 100% legal to be operating heavy machinery with. Not even aspirin or ibuprofen in my blood, you know, so some CBD, no THC, no questionable substances of any kind, so I guess I can do it while driving these days. I did pick up 550 more activated carbon filters, which I only paid for day before yesterday. Shipment was real quick. The crazy thing is they have 0.2 grams of ceramic in each of them, because they have 2 ends and each end weighs 0.1 grams approximately. These ceramic bits here, the sieves on the filters basically. The middle of the filter have activated charcoal and the ends have the sieves. And it's got 3 layers of cardboard around the outside. First thing I've done, disassembled one, you know, just to see. And it's kind of odd, but I guess it's fair enough, because they do justify the price, because it's understandable, it's more work. I mean, I guess they probably have a stamp or so with which they can make 10,000 of these sieves and roll them through an oven, but it might not even be worth it. I don't know how many they sell. But I guess they're probably big enough. Oh, by the way, we are on a time limit here. I got 28 minutes remaining before I got to go, so just FYI. Though that may not be the end of this session, we'll see. Just because I ain't got interwebs till I'm home, I guess. Which, we do not have a plan for me being home. I said I'm open for an open end. My hard limit is I'd like to be home at 5:30 in the AM. I think we'll manage that. Then again, tomorrow I'm going to my former place for internship again. And tomorrow night I am going to an event. At the exhibition I was at yesterday, there's some opening of some also going on tomorrow night. And I actually managed to get guest list. The prof whom we were at yesterday's with got the vitamin B. Nice, you know. So I got guest list for that event tomorrow, and I'm actually quite looking forward to it, just because, you know, figure out all the technology behind it, and hell, could always end up with connections, you know. Worst case, I have a good time. I mean, come on, it's not that bad. Where I'm at now, I have never been in before this street. Before I've driven past the area looking for parking. And the spot I'm in is very narrow. Would not be able to have anyone enter or leave the car here. It's good enough for parking and halting, and or parking, I guess. I'd have to exit through the window, but you can close the window once you're outside, so that's fine, I guess. I'm here outside a friend's. In particular, the friend whom I was worried about last time at the end. Thanks for sticking around that time and now, by the way. Assuming you know what I'm talking about. The one I'd considered reaching out to the significant other off if they didn't get back. They did get back, and they agreed to go out for a ride. Because I know this is one of the least unpleasant ways of spending time for them, especially socialising. It's indoors, but the room is moving and has windows. For me, I like it because I just have a good time driving. So, you know, multiple birds with one stone. I may have to reset the service trip later on. Still got 100k, and I don't think it's going to limp mode after, but it might. We'll find out, you know. Got an appointment for a service, well, for a service assessment to get to know on Monday. So service latest Wednesday is my guess. Yeah. What else did I do? Cleaned the car. Oh, I also helped out a classmate who is playing catch up with uni, that is. Sadly, they will not be graduating together with me this year. They are catching up, and they're looking into writing papers that I have all written because I got all my papers handed in on time. And, you know, it happens. And I actually managed to dig one of mine out of the archive, the one they're looking for, just because they have not the slightest what the teacher wants. And this way they got some guidance. I told them, well, you're grown adults, so if you're going to copy me, it's your own fault, you know. So, I mean, realistically, the teacher would notice if they copied me because my writing style is too unique, I guess. I don't know. I might be riding my, what's it called? Tooting my own horse here. My own horn. But I do think I'm actually not that bad at writing. And objectively, I'm presumably not even that bad at bureaucracy. It's just subjectively, I really dislike bureaucracy, you know. Funny how that works. With this bubblegum, it's much same as with the premium therapy. Considering it's 4 times the price of the cheapish stuff from the same place, it's not worth it. So next time it'll be pretty much exclusively the cheapish stuff. Starting at 85 cents a gram. One of these, this one in particular, have 1.2 grams. 1.25 grams, actually. So this is like $4 with the pricing I paid now with ordering small quantities. But that's really not cool and is not sustainable. One of these being $1 is far more valid, considering this is my 4th blunt today. It's not that bad. I mean, if they're $1 each, I'd still be below my smoking expenses per day, so worth it, you know. 10 out of 10 would do again. And yes, this is way more than in a tobacco cigarette. But obviously it also burns significantly longer. I mean, come on, we've been here for 13 minutes. I've been smoking for 10 of them. And it's barely even started, you know. I do have to say the pre-rolled cone do smoke very well. I like it. It's not worth the extra expense, considering a pre-rolled cone costs 40 euro cents. And a filter costs 14, and a paper costs a couple, and one might need a couple of papers. It's more than double the price of rolling oneself. And I mean, if we look at the blunts I've rolled myself, it's close enough in rolling quality. I'm happy, you know. It's not worse to smoke, I can assure you that. And it's significantly cheaper, and it's a pleasurable activity to be rolling them, I guess. Well, rolling and stuffing, because with this stuff you can't roll. Because it's not sticky enough, it's not tobacco. I guess with hemp leaves, one could consider trying processing it like tobacco. Then again, they're probably too strong, they probably taste like shit, you know. So, meh. But the thing is, the flowers, they don't grind up into nice stringy bits like tobacco do. Tobacco is not ground, it's cut before it's dry. Well, once it's halfway dry, I believe. Never mind. If someone know better, correct me, you know. Feel free to. Oh, the temperature and weather today. Haven't even talked about it. Most of the day was pretty pleasant. We had some light showers earlier, and quite the thunderstorm coming through as I was driving through town. Didn't mind. Didn't have any cars in front of me, so I did actually go the speed limit, though that was like the top limit of viable speeds, particularly considering my treads on my rear tyres, which are the lane keeping tyres, are not too great. Temperature outside right now is 18 degrees centigrade. There is a slight breeze going on, and it's not too humid. In this car it's rather humid, but that's because I've been sat here for a while with the windows closed, because yay, otherwise you have car noises of cars coming by. I really like having a clean car. It's so much more pleasant, you know. I was happy to be able to spend the $14. Then again, I have nothing coming in for them yet. But I just couldn't hack the littered car anymore. Oh! Back to the main topic. Another thing I managed to do today is I actually managed to do dinner. Admittedly, it was Aldi lasagna. Pre-made lasagna from Aldi, a kilo for €4. But that's better value than if I cooked myself. So, you know, I managed to do some of that and eat warm. Yeah, I'm actually quite happy with that. I did not bring any snacks. I thought I was going to do this Aldi gum. In the past, I had a brand name. The Aldi gum, considering it's, what, 3/5 the price of the brand name stuff for approximately the same value, same price. It's not that bad. Then again, if I had limited space, we're not in a huge fuck off car like this, I might very well consider doing the premium stuff instead of the Aldi stuff, just because the Aldi stuff take more space for equal amounts of chewing period. So, you know, funny how that works. It's actually crazy with this car. With this street, not this car. I've driven around the block thrice, well, around 3 blocks, not the same block thrice, but still, to find one spot I could halt in, / park in, you know. It's not quite parked. It's the next best thing. And one reason is admittedly because cars like the one across the road from me are parked in the middle of a spot where 2 cars would fit. Then again, who knows, they might be disabled in the way of walking, also needing a wheelchair. They likely are if they're parking like that, so fine by me, I guess. There is no disabled parking around. I fully understand if they then use 2 parking spots. You know. Nice thing about these blunts is they do burn forever. I know I'm repeating myself. You know what? I'm repeating myself. But it's quite pleasant because one don't got a toke on it permanently. If it go off, and you can just relight it. It still feels fucking wrong smoking a blunt while driving, though. Like, I feel guilty even though I know what I'm doing is perfectly legal, and I've made my peace with it, and if I've made my peace with it, odds are 95% of other drivers would certainly make their peace with it as well. But it still feels fucking wrong. It's just so weird, you know. One thing about these pre-rolled cones for blunts is they are significantly quicker to roll with, surprise. A regular blunt, self-rolled, take me about 10 minutes. This took me about 5. Then again, if you're rolling a blunt, odds are you aren't in a hurry, so, you know. It is the way it is. It's quite nice weather tonight. I'm hoping tomorrow we got comparable weather, considering the event I'm going to is mostly outdoors. Shit weather would be quite a bad experience. Then again, shit weather would be an opportunity for adventure. And I've looked at what it would take to do things like some of the installations there, and it's surprising what just DMX controlled winches cost. Um, if you want a professionally made one, realistically, you're looking at $1,000 per winch minimum if you want them DMX controlled. So really, they are something that's viable to DIY. It's just, funny how it is, but that's the way it is. To be fair, I am actually really rather surprised DMX winches are that expensive, because I would have thought they just motorised winches with a DMX controller. Then again, can look into building my own in the future if I want to do something like that. The LEDs are about the price as I expected. The price I had expected, which is 144 per meter, being the most frequent high density there is for individually addressable RGBW lights, LED strips. And a meter costs about $15, which means you can do rather significant installations, or at least what elsewhere is seen as rather significant installation, with less than a couple $100 of LEDs and another 50 or so to drive the LEDs. And that's really economical. Like, now I'm surprised they use DMX winches because they're fucking expensive. Then again, I don't think that venture care much about money, which is what make it more artsy than I feel many a thing is. Because obviously, as capitalistic society, you'd think they'd have to do something to be commercially viable, but they very well might not. I don't actually know how it works. Might get to talk to the guy tomorrow, probably won't, Odds are they won't even stick around. Then again, they might just sit somewhere in the back. Who knows? I did actually buy dinner in a bottle last time I went shopping. I haven't had any of it, which is the longest dinner in a bottle I've survived in my fridge. 2 days. A day. Yeah, whoopsie. But I haven't touched it, so I survived today as well, because I ain't getting home before midnight. I'm still wondering what it would look like if the plod pulled me over sometime. Because I truly believe, in this city they could not give the slightest shit. I know a person who, for example, does speed more than triple the speed limit at times, and they can do it in peace and not having to worry, because I believe the places they do it in, are the least unresponsible places to be doing such things, and because they know the plod don't give a shit. And it's just, meh. I mean, triple the speed limit just about anywhere, with just about any speed limit beside a speed limit of 10 or 15. I mean, your license is gone. Which, hell, that's ballsy. Then again, the plod don't give a shit. And if the plod don't give a shit and they don't give a shit, no one give a shit about, so, nah. Problem with me is, I know the plod don't give a shit, but I give a shit about my driving, so, nah. The self-policing kind of shit. Rather disadvantageous for myself. Yeah, though I feel like I'm slacking, I believe measurably I'm not. Then again, by end of next week, I want to have the first few chapters together for my thesis. I will have to, because that's about the kind of timeline I'm looking at. A few chapters every week. And then we'll see. That's going to be a bit stressy. Oh no. Real first world problems. Then again, I'm not going to be very productive as in for writing on Monday, because I'm going to go to a workshop with the car. I'll also discount another day later in the week for the workshop and the car, which is already 2/5 the working week gone. We'll see, but I'm confident I'll manage. My supervisor is confident I'll manage, which I find very pleasant. That's like, I'll take that as a high compliment because I believe they got their shit pretty much together. As much together as someone their age can have their shit together. Or my age, for a fact. And I believe there's enough of an age difference to say they could have their shit more together than someone my age. But they really got their shit together, which is pleasant, you know. I'd want to get to that point sometime. It's going to take me years, though. We'll see. I'll manage. The universe work in mysterious ways. Because, hell, I mean, I had stated, and I did mean it, I'd have to reach out to the significant other of that friend who weren't doing so bright. And the universe worked in mysterious ways, and they did reach out, so... The universe work in mysterious ways. Not to force my spirituality upon you, but I truly believe that's a phrase one can agree with. Particularly because the deity is an abstract concept that exists in reality, I guess. An abstract concept used to describe factual reality. The universe, you know. A deity of a kind, I guess. I don't quite know if I'll record another one of these here later. I am reserving the right to. In that case, you'll see me again in just a moment after I say cheerio. Should that not be the case, stay safe. I'll see you around. Cheerio. Yeah, so evidently it's quite a lot later in the night. In fact, it is not even the same day anymore. It's already Friday. It's been Friday for more than an hour. The OKF Oscar Foxtrot Kilo Orts Control fight was a success, I guess. We didn't get very far, but we obeyed the speed limit and had fun driving around, I guess. Got to talk some. Yeah, would do again. I'm really rather tired, and I think that's a good thing because in as little as 7.5 hours, I'll want to be at my former place of internship. Then again, good news is I don't gotta. I just wanna. They know I'll be there tomorrow. They don't know what time, so meh. Yesterday I had a total of 8 cigarettes again, and I had 5.5 blunts. CBD blunts, of course. I guess that is a language barrier. Some people call what I call blunts joints, but in my book a joint has both tobacco and grass. I don't know why some people think a joint would have only grass, but who knows? That's a blunt, man. If you disagree, drop your opinion below and state why. Yeah. I guess that was a success at attempt at socialising, which is a weird way of thinking of it. But usually I don't even attempt it, so usually there is no chance of success. And I guess that was successful socialising. It was not unpleasant for me, and I don't believe it was for any of the other parties. I only just realised that. It's a bit weird. Guess I am human after all. That having been said, I might as well roll my first cigarette of the day. With a capacity of 8 a day, what I'm currently observing I've been smoking. This will reduce that to 7 for the remainder of the day. And past couple of days, so yesterday and the day before, I'd only smoked 2 or 3 by noon. So I might not manage 8 today, we'll see. Even with 5.5 blunts in a day, as long as I don't smoke the fancy CBD grass or CBG grass like premium therapy or premium bubblegum, high CBD bubblegum, but rather the outdoor one, which is just a mix of all their remnants of flowers, and they're still nice flowers, you know. I suppose there's at least some B-sides. And they're significantly more affordable, to the point where a gram costs less than €1. For blunt, I do use a bit more than a gram. So let's say with paper and roach, about €1 a blunt. And I can do 5 or 6 of those in a day. Economically, it's not worse than smoking tobacco. Oh no. I am still real sweaty. It still is really rather warm, I guess. That just reminds me, I believe my towel has gone missing. Oh no. Oh, I found it. It had gone missing between the seats. Temperature outside is still to be determined. 18 days until I need to be in the workshop. Good news, I got an appointment for Monday, which is just after this weekend, so that's something. Temperature outside is still 15.5 degrees centigrade. I've driven approximately 150k yesterday and today already. Some of for socialising, but it was fun, so it was worth. Then again, I should not burn my money like that. Both in diesel and in cigarettes, literally, I guess. It's only figuratively because I'm not lighting money on fire, but still. It's somewhat irresponsible. You have to grow up, I guess, while acknowledging I am human. I shouldn't use the human bit as excuse in my eyes. And if I'm saying, it's okay to burn money because I'm human, I think that's using it as an excuse. It's nice to be in a clean car. Vision out the mirrors was beautiful. At least the mirrors I can use. The one in the centre is actually rather filthy because I didn't clean that. But good news is that don't see much use anyways because I have a bulkhead here. Yes, I do have a window, but as you might have been able to tell from some of the previous solar therapy installments, it is rather reflective. So what do I see in it? I see in it the road in front of me if I look into my rear view mirror. I reckon I should really start writing my thesis rather sooner than later. But I also don't want to not do enough research. So I reckon by tonight, before I go to bed, before I go to that event, I'll aim to have read some of a paper that I'd already mentioned in my brief for the paper and my expose. Won't be looking for news sources or anything, but I'll just read up on it a bit diagonally and just get into the matter, I guess. It's funny how I'm not looking forward to having it behind me, but on my way home just now, I did actually consider I might be able to get an employment contract long before I'm done studying, for once I'm done studying, just for the peace of mind. Then again, that requires work on my end and effort. That does not reap immediate rewards, so meh. Drink of the night is a Mio Cola. Why? Because that's the stuff I bought a crate of this week. A crate of these is only 12 bottles, but it's what I took out of the flat when I left, so. It's actually surprisingly peaceful at 1 AM on a Friday morning, driving through town. Very low traffic, a lot of green traffic lights. and a disproportionately high amount of the traffic speed significantly. I guess that is why, due to this city, street racing have been criminal in Germany for a while now, and have become criminal in Germany. In my eyes, one could do it ethically and morally. Hell, if on a Sunday morning at 4 a.m. or so, you go on the Autobahn, have a race, I couldn't care less. I hope you have fun doing it. I hope you don't die. I hope you've cared for people who may be dependent on you. But I don't think you're a criminal if you do so, I guess. Not that I'd do it. Guess that's my double standards. Or more of my double standards. Funny how that works. Odd meta thought. First off, thanks a lot for hanging around long enough to see this bit at the end. Hey. And the metaphor is, I think this is the first solo therapy installment which have gone across the day line, across a date. Good news is I don't date them, I just rely on YouTube for doing that with the upload date, so... Hell, I don't even keep offline copies of them once they're uploaded. Just because this phone only have 512 gigs, and by now I've actually talked a significant amount of time, or spent a significant amount of time, talking to myself in these things, so it was not viable to keep it all. At this time I do still have all the mic checks and all of the thumbnails. There we go, might as well add to the thumbnail. Maybe we can merge one we took earlier to this one. There we go. Oddly enough, I am talking to myself now, even though I'm meant to be going to bed. But perhaps because I've been smoking so little tobacco, I really fancy a cigarette before leaving the car. And I figured if I'm sitting here smoking a cigarette, thinking about things, I might as well talk to myself. So, yay. I am winding down very much so. I am very much so slower than usual. And oddly enough, that's not due to the CBD, because I haven't had any in an hour. 3/4, but still. I like the effects the CBD have on me. As previously stated, I can't say don't affect me at all, that'd be a lie. But I think I'm a cooler person. I'm calmer. Not as out of my pants, worried about catching the next light or so if it turn orange. Well, if I'll wait another cycle, I'm in no hurry. And I believe that's healthy for mindset. Then again, it is going the same way regular grass would with THC, which do make me wonder whether it's just a psychosomatic reaction rather than a physical. Just because, hell, taste and flavour can be associated with things, and this taste and flavour may be associated with that mind space for me, you know. I mean, I did smoke THC grass in the past, so... Then again, the day before yesterday, so before Tuesday night, I hadn't rolled a blunt in my life, so learn something new every day, you know. Beside the thesis, I also still got to do the post-production on my elective, which is minor effort. I'm not going to invest too much effort in the post-production, it's going to be good enough. I might mask out characters, but that's about the extent of what I'm doing. Looking forward to have that behind me. I really liked how one of the talent acted. Admittedly, the other was dead for half the scene, so, you know, didn't get as much a chance to act decently, I guess. They were good at dying. I guess that's the odd bit with when I direct. Thus far, I've only done it in the context of uni and or extra curricular, extra uni courses. But extra uni as an outsider uni. But not a single time have I just done it by the book. I've always experimented, and I've always liked the results, so, you know, don't see the point in changing the experimentation, to be fair. One thing that I've started to grow as concern, and is a valid concern that's starting to grow, I guess, is my phone battery is starting to get to a point where I ought to replace it. And the thing about this phone is it's of the generation 13 of the Apple phones, which means to replace the battery one have to take the entire front off the screen, the logic board, etc. Maybe not the logic board, but for sure the screen, just to change a battery. And I trust myself to do it, but I really don't want to be doing it with the only phone I'm using for this and for other things in life. Good news is, I've managed to hold off another 3/4 year. I can justify to upgrade, I guess, and keep this as a backup phone after changing the battery, assuming that goes successful. The joke is selling technology on don't make much sense to me, even though it's money. I get a disproportionately small amount of money back for what the goods are worth for me, just because I take good care of my things, I guess. Today I cleaned my car. Well, not today, yesterday. Here we go again. Today, no, I mean not today, I mean yesterday. I was surprised to find parking spots still available, but I'm parked not far from my front door. In fact, I have to walk less than 50 meters, and that is including crossing the road. Surprisingly pleasant. I don't know if I mentioned earlier with cleaning the car. I suspect I did, but I'll mention it again. I managed to swap out my indicator repeaters, so the indicators on the sides of the car. The ones I got as a replacement were manufactured January of this year, so they are brand spanking new. And I'm happy about that, because after 10 years they appear to lose their structural integrity with the bond between the clear plastic and the opaque plastic. So that's how lights appear to be failing on VAG vehicles, and my limited experience with them, as in with this car. I had the third brake light delaminate at some point in time, and now I've had the repeater indicators delaminate, so just got to start the engine and make sure the battery don't go too low. Yeah, that's something. Monday I got the appointment at the workshop. That'll get the tyres sorted hopefully by latest Wednesday, and the service. One thing I might have the guy do, depending on how up for it is the wiring harness issue with the DPF pressure differential sensor. And one thing I won't have them do, because it's too expensive to have done and cheap enough and easy enough to do myself, is replace the rear drinker side light of the car housing. Because I highly suspect that suffered the same issue as the third brake light and the repeater indicators did, which is it's delaminating. At least it's got a lot of moisture in it, and there's no way moisture can get in it through a rubber boot. So odds are it got through because it's starting to delaminate, which is questionably safe. Safe enough for a long time still, but nah. The time the car stereo display at this time was 123, a very satisfying number, and it just rolled over, which is still a satisfying number, because it's 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2. The real time is 1:31 in the AM on a Friday morning. Yay. Anyways, I'm gonna get a good night's sleep in before I leave for my former place of internship tomorrow. I'm hoping to not tomorrow, later today. I'm hoping to later today hear back from uni in regards to my application for admission for bachelor's thesis. And in the evening I'll be going to that event, I guess is the right term for it. I'm not quite sure. Earlier with the driving around, I did look on where one can park easily around there, and at that time of day it's easy to park around there, so I ain't worried about that. Yeah, so I hope to get in a good morning's sleep. I hope you get in a good night's sleep as well whenever it's time for you to do so. Stay safe, I'll see you around. It's time for real the ends.